today's video, we're going to do a budget-friendly gaming PC for my niece. If you're interested, please keep on watching. Alright, so now I'm going to include the clip of what I'll be using to build this PC. Alright, so I'll show you the case that I'm using. This is the i4 Game OMG Micro ATX Edition, and I will link it down below in case you're interested. It's in the baby pink color, and the front of the case says OMG with the exclamation point on it, and then it says play with me, and it has little pandas engraved. And then if you look at the side, it also has two more pandas, and it says play with me, which that is adorable. The other side is a see-through case, a see-through lid, so it's made out of glass, so very good quality. The only downfall is that it does not come with RGB lights, but no worries because we bought our own. Now I'm going to unscrew the case. Alright, so now I will put it in a safe area because it is made out of glass. And we will be using the Gigabyte GA78LMT USB 3 and the AM3 Plus CPU with a DDR3 memory. And this is how it looks. Alright, so let's prepare the case. So I'm going to flip it over before I can remove the case. So I will be removing the two side screws. And I will set this to the side. And I'll be cutting these. So these are the USB and power button cables. And this is the power button, the USB 3.0, the USB, two USBs, the mic, and the headset. So I'm going to pass these cables to the front. And now let's flip the case over. So move this to the side. And now let's prepare to put in the motherboard. Alright, so now we're going to install the shield. And all you have to do is plop it in place. Alright, perfect. So now we're going to install the motherboard. Alright, now we're going to screw it in place, and these are the screws that we'll be using. those screws are screwed in. Now we're gonna get ready to install the CPU. So we're going to be using the AMD 6300 Black Edition CPU, and it has a clock speed of 3.5 Hz and comes with a 6-port. We're also going to be using the Thermotape cooler, and this is the UX100, and it's a high airflow and it supports RGB lights. Alright, so now let's install the CPU. So let's pop it out of the case. And we're going to put in the metal right at this corner. So first lift this up. And then place it down. So now we're going to add the thermopaste, and I'm using the Ice Mountain #1. The CPU fan. So for the memory, we're going to be using the Team Elite, and these are 2 of the 8 GB, so a total of 16 GB, and these are the DDR3s. To install the memory cards, we're going to install it in slot 1 and 2. So these are the gray ones. Does not touch the memory cards, as you can see, so that's nothing to worry about. We're gonna leave the cable installation last. Now we're gonna get ready to install the power supply. Alright, so let's flip it over. Get ready to remove the hard drive case. Alright, so for the power supply, we're going to be using the RM750X, and this one has the 750 watts and the 80 plus gold edition. Alright, so now let's install the power supply. And now install the screws. Now I'm going to connect all the cables to the power supply. So I'll be doing this off camera since it's going to take a bit of time. Alright, so I already installed all the cables to the power supply and I passed them to the front. So they're all right here. And we're going to flip it to the side, an easier access to install to the motherboard. Alright, so let's install the CPU fan. Now I'm going to install the cable to the motherboard and the CPU. Alright, so I moved the cables to the back to better cable manage. That way everything is more organized. And now I'm going to get ready to install the graphics card. This is the graphics card that I'll be using. This is the GeForce GTX 1070. And this is with the 8 gigs. So now I'm going to remove the metal plate and the 2 plates in the middle to install the GPU. Alright, so now we have space to install the GPU. So these are the rest of the cables that need to be connected, so I'm going to do that off camera. Alright, so as you can see, I already installed all the cables, so now we're going to connect the GPU. Next, I'm connecting the GPU power cables. So now I'm going to install the SSD, and this is the 120 gigabytes. This is where Windows will be installed. I'm still waiting on the 1 TB hard drive. That is where the gaming will be stored at. But we recently got one that we purchased, and we're waiting on the replacement one because we had issues with the first one that we ordered. So I'm gonna install this off camera because this is a little tedious to install. So I'll do that off camera. Alright, so I connected the SSD power and the connector. And I did a little bit of cable management for everything to look more cleaner. Alright guys, so now we're gonna install the final part, and it's the RGB lights, and then I'll show you how everything looks at the end. Alright, so let's see how the final product looks. So that's the RGB lights, and look how the inside looks. And now let's turn off the lights for you to see how cool it looks at night. And look at the front, how the OMG looks. And you could put whatever color you like. Alright guys, so this was the end of this video. This was my first budget build, and I am sure that my niece will love this. She will really enjoy this since she recently got into gaming. Well, thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and like and share.